Capricorn, what if everything you've endured wasn't random? What if the heartbreak you never got over returns not to stay, but to set you free? And what if this final goodbye is exactly what unlocks the life you've been waiting for? This isn't just another phase, and it's definitely not just April. It's your moment, the one the universe has been secretly setting up behind the scenes. Every delay, every silent tear, every night you held it together for everyone but yourself, it's all been leading to this. And now, someone you thought was gone forever, reappears. Not to start again, but to finally let go. Not to break your heart, but to unchain it. This isn't just closure. It's a cosmic release. And what's waiting on the other side? Peace, wholeness, a life that doesn't require you to shrink or settle. So take a deep breath. Look around, because the door is already open. And this time, Capricorn, it's your turn to walk through. Jack didn't know he was in survival mode. Not really. For 13 years, he did what most Capricorns do, kept going. Head down, showed up, made it work. He lost his job in 2015, lost love in 2018, and never really stopped to grieve either. Sound familiar? He smiled through it. People called him strong, but strength without softness just becomes silent. And that silence, it builds. It weighs you down. Until one day, like Jack, you realize you're still carrying bags from a story that ended a long time ago. April 2025 is the month you drop them. You don't have to earn your peace. You've already done the work. Now it's time to feel what life's like when you're not just surviving, but actually living. Have you felt it? Like something's off, but you can't quite name it? Maybe you've been having weird dreams, the kind that repeat, like reruns from your subconscious. Or people from your past have been popping into your mind, out of nowhere, a chill that runs down your spine at night. That strange sense that something big is coming, but no one else seems to notice. That's not random, that's energy moving. That's the universe whispering, it's time. Jack never expected to hear from her again. It had been, 6 years? Out of nowhere, she messaged him, said she just wanted to talk, catch up, say goodbye. And here's the thing, he almost didn't go. But when he did, he realized something. He wasn't angry. He wasn't even sad. He was ready to close that door finally. And maybe you're ready too. Let's talk about April 2025. Because this isn't just another month. It's a moment. A cosmic green light after more than a decade of red ones. The kind of alignment that only shows up once in a generation. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, and breakthrough, is finally teaming up with Saturn, the builder, the one who lays foundations that last. Even public figures like Michelle Obama, a Capricorn herself, embody this exact energy. Quiet strength, unshakable poise, and the kind of perseverance that turns pressure into purpose. For years, she supported others while growing silently, only to later rise and shine in her own right. That's the Capricorn way. And then there's Denzel Washington, another Capricorn. He's not just a brilliant actor, he's a comeback story on repeat. Every time the world thought he had peaked, he came back stronger, sharper, more grounded. That's not luck. That's alignment, timing, and faith in his path. Their stories? They're not just inspiring, they're proof that when Capricorn energy finally aligns with the right moment, it becomes unstoppable. For Capricorns, this means something big, monumental. Because for 13 years, it's felt like you've been trying to climb a mountain while blindfolded. Every step uncertain, every path unclear. Now, the fog's clearing, and you're finally seeing what all that struggle was preparing you for. Jack, he felt this shift coming before he could explain it. He had shelved a business idea years ago, something he loved but never had time for. In early April, a former coworker reached out. "Hey, remember that thing you used to talk about? I think we should bring it back." I'll even fund it. No forcing, no chasing, just alignment. That's what this energy is. It rewards the ones who kept showing up, quietly, faithfully. It doesn't matter if no one saw how hard you worked, the universe saw. And now it's opening doors that were once walls. But here's the deal, and it's important. You still have to walk through them. This energy, it's full of potential. But if you're too busy doubting yourself, too stuck in your old story, you might miss it. Don't. April is about readiness, receptivity, saying yes to what aligns and no to what drains. And that brings us to something crucial. Let's be real for a second. There's someone in your life, maybe more than one, who's not exactly cheering for your growth. They're subtle about it. They say things like, "I just don't want you to get hurt," or, "Are you sure this is the right time?" They wrap their fear in concern, and to be honest, it sounds caring, but underneath, it's controlled. It's a projection. It's them wanting you to stay exactly where you are. Because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Jack had someone like that. His best friend from college. Every time Jack got excited about moving forward, starting the business, dating again, even just dreaming bigger, this friend would hit him with a quiet, No outright discouragement, just that energy, like he was poking holes in Jack's vision with a smile. And it worked. For a while, Jack held himself back, second-guessed every move, but in April, something changed. He stopped explaining, stopped asking for permission. He realized, if I keep shrinking myself to make others comfortable, I'll never get to live the life I've actually earned. Capricorn, read that again. You don't owe anyone your smallness, not the friend who's used to you being predictable, not the parent who only feels safe when you play it safe, not the partner who doesn't dream as big as you do. Growth, it's gonna make people squirm. Let it, because the truth is, some people benefit from your doubt, from your hesitation, from your silence. But this April, the silence ends. This is the season where you get to move differently, quieter maybe, but clearer, sharper, more unapologetic. You don't need to broadcast every move. You just need to make them. Here's a simple rule. If their presence makes you question your path more than believe in it, step back. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. This chapter you're walking into requires strength, yes, but it also requires clarity. And you can't be clear if you're constantly defending your choices to people who were never meant to understand them. So yeah, April's about alignment, but it's also about audacity. The audacity to believe you're ready. The audacity to set boundaries without guilt. The audacity to finally stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if it works?" Because honestly, it will, if you let it. And Jack. Once he made that shift, once he stopped explaining and started embodying, everything changed. Not overnight. But it began. And for you, it can too. And here's something else Jack learned. And maybe it'll resonate with you too. People pleasing, it's a survival mechanism. And Capricorns, you're good at surviving. But this season, it's not about survival, it's about selection. You don't need to explain your dreams to people who've never dared to dream for themselves. Jack stopped oversharing his moves. He started writing them down instead, in a journal just for him. Every morning he'd write one thing he was working toward, one limiting belief he was ready to release, and one way he'd protect his energy that day. That small habit, it changed everything. Because when you take your power back, even in small daily ways, the universe responds. Suddenly, Jack wasn't just dreaming about the next chapter. He was living it. That could be you. But only if you stop carrying the opinions of people who were never meant to walk your path. Only if you choose to trust that inner pull, the one that says, "There's more for me, and I'm finally ready to claim it." So here's your challenge this April. Audit your circle, audit your habits, audit your thoughts. And anything that doesn't feel aligned with the version of you you're becoming, let it go. Let it go, Capricorn. Because what's ahead of you is way too good to be dragged down by what's behind. Okay, Capricorn. Let's get real. You've been grinding for years, quietly stacking bricks while everyone else was chasing shortcuts. And now that the energy has finally shifted in your favor, what are you going to do with it? Because here's the truth. Abundance doesn't fall into your lap. It flows to those who are ready, and that means having not just a dream, but a plan. Let's break this down. First, upgrade your skills. I'm not saying you need to go back to school, but maybe it's time to take that online course you've been bookmarking for months, or finally learn that system that could 2x your productivity. Jack, for instance, signed up for a weekend coding boot camp, something totally outside his comfort zone, and 3 weeks later, he landed a side gig that paid more than his old job. Why? Because he took action when the window opened. Second, diversify your income. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially not in 2025. You've got talents, Capricorn. Yes, you, whether it's consulting, coaching, writing, selling products, organizing people, or creating systems. Use them. Jack started monetizing his expertise on Reddit forums and LinkedIn groups. And guess what? Those little $50 gigs added up to over $2,000 in 1 month. Third, set financial goals that mean something. Not just make more money, but pay off $5,000 of debt, build a 6-month emergency fund, or earn $10K from side projects by December. Concrete goals make you move different. Fourth, track your money. Look, this isn't sexy, but awareness is power. Use an app, use a spreadsheet, use a notebook if you have to. Just know what's coming in, what's going out, and where your energy is leaking. Because money isn't just math, it's energy. And if yours is scattered, your results will be too. Now, let's switch gears for a second. Because all that action, it won't stick if your inner world is a mess. Welcome to... And yeah, this might be the part you didn't know you needed. Real success requires alignment. Your body, mind, and spirit, they've got to be on the same page. Let's start with the body. You can't chase dreams if you're running on fumes. So sleep, eat something green, move your body daily, even if it's just a 10-minute walk while listening to affirmations. Jack started doing yoga twice a week, not for the Instagram vibes, but because it helped him stop waking up exhausted. His creativity skyrocketed. Your physical energy is the fuel for your future. Protect it. Next, the mind. What are you feeding it every day? Is your mental diet full of fear, comparison, and doom scrolling? Or are you filling it with clarity, focus, and hope? Replace "I'm behind" with "I'm building." Replace "I'm not ready" with "I'm learning." Jack made it a rule. No checking his phone for the first hour of the day. Instead, he reads something inspiring and journals one intention for the day. That tiny shift changed his mood and his momentum. Finally, your spirit. Whether you call it God, Source, the universe, or just your inner compass, connect with it. You're not doing this alone. Light a candle, say a prayer, sit in silence, pull an oracle card, chant a mantra, write down your vision and speak it out loud. Jack, he's not even woo-woo, but he started writing gratitude letters to his future self, and the peace he felt after, unreal. You don't have to be spiritual to be aligned, just honest. Real alignment is this: saying no to what drains you, yes to what lifts you, and being present enough to feel the difference. Because when your inner world is calm, your outer world starts flowing. That deal lands, that text comes through, that idea clicks. You're not blocked. You're just out of sync. Sync back up. April 2025 is your month to do it. Not perfectly, not all at once, but one aligned decision at a time. And if you're thinking, that sounds good, but I've tried before and I always fall off. Hey, welcome to being human. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is momentum, progress, peace. And that starts now. Jack's approach to money used to be all about survival. Save every dime, fear every risk. But in April, something shifted. He created 3 income streams: a freelance gig, passive product sales, and a community workshop on weekends. It didn't explode overnight, but it gave him freedom. Now let's talk about healing. Jack began each morning with a 10-minute walk. No phone, just breath and sky. There's an ancient Tibetan Buddhist teaching that says the one who does not master their breath will forever be mastered by their emotions. And maybe that's why so many of us feel off balance, because we're chasing peace without ever pausing to breathe. Start with just 1 minute each morning. Eyes closed, one hand on your heart. Inhale, exhale. That's it. The stillness you've been searching for, it's been inside you all along. At night, he lit a candle and wrote down one thing he forgave himself for. That was it. That's simple. No gurus, no retreats. And it worked, because healing doesn't require drama. It requires honesty. You want to raise your frequency? Start by eating better. Stretch your body, hydrate. Replace the doom scroll with 10 minutes of silence. It adds up. Capricorn, you're ruled by Saturn, the master of time and discipline, so lean into that. Structure your peace like you structure your goals. Block time for quiet. Schedule joy. Budget for a massage or a hike. You don't have to earn rest. You already did. When your finances align with your habits, and your habits align with your nervous system, the results speak loud. But here's the kicker. If your spirit is exhausted, none of it sticks. You'll sabotage progress to protect your comfort zone. So let's not do that anymore. Breathe deeper, sleep better, speak kinder to yourself. That's not woo-woo. That's the foundation for everything else to flow. All right, Capricorn, this part right here, it's about the long game, the next 20 years of your life, not just this one shiny moment in April 2025. You've survived the lessons, you've passed the tests, and now the universe is asking you a serious question. What are you going to build from here? Not just wish for, build. This is about setting your life up so it grows with you, not against you. Jack sat down on April 5th, coffee in hand, sunrise outside his window, and did something he'd never done before. He wrote down exactly what he wanted his life to look like 20 years from now, where he'd live, how he'd feel waking up, who he'd love, what kind of work he'd be proud of. Not in vague Pinterest board vibes, in detail, specific, tangible. And then he reversed engineered it, 1 year at a time, step by step. That's the energy of April. Big dream, grounded plan, vision with strategy. If you don't write the future, someone else will write it for you, and you'll be stuck living a script that was never meant for your soul. This is the month to get intentional, to map it out. Not because you need to control every outcome, but because clarity attracts alignment. You can't call in what you can't name. And now, let's talk about something just as important. The people walking beside you into that future. Because not everyone who came with you this far is meant to go further. Look, this one's gonna hit deep, but you need to hear it. Relationships, Capricorn, are the architecture of your emotional home. And if you've got cracks in the foundation, people who drain, distract, manipulate, or just don't believe in you, then your entire house leans over time. April brings clarity, and with clarity comes choices. Jack had to make a few. He had a friend group that thrived on chaos, drama every week, group chats full of complaints, no solutions. He loved them, but they weren't growing, and being around them made him shrink. So he stepped back, not out of malice, not with judgment, just with peace. And you know what happened? Space opened, and in that space, new people came in. A mentor who challenged him, a partner who saw his vision, a community that actually wanted to build, not just vent. That's what happens when you say no to noise. You make room for resonance. Think about your own circle right now. Who lifts you up when you're tired? Who reminds you of your strength when you forget it yourself? And on the flip side, who makes you second guess every decision? Who leaves you more drained than inspired? This isn't about cutting people off with coldness. It's about choosing your frequency. You're stepping into a new chapter, one that requires different energy, deeper truth, and higher support. Some people are beautiful, just not aligned. Some people are kind, but not meant for your next level. And that's okay. You're allowed to outgrow people without making them villains. Jack journaled one line every night in April. The people meant for my future will meet me there. Simple, soft, strong. Let that be true for you too. You don't have to drag anyone into alignment. You just have to keep aligning with yourself, and the rest becomes clear. April will show you who's really for you, not just in words, but in energy, in action, in how they hold space for your dreams. Pay attention. And remember, the ones who truly love you won't be intimidated by your healing, your growth, or your glow up. They'll clap for it. They'll rise with you. So ask yourself this, Capricorn, who do you take with you into the next 20 years? And who do you finally bless and release? Jack sat down one evening and actually wrote a letter to his future self. 20 years from now, he didn't hold back. He wrote about the kind of mornings he wanted to wake up to, the people he hoped would still be in his life, the kind of impact he wanted to leave behind. It wasn't about being rich or famous. It was about being at peace. And guess what? That letter became his map. He started making choices based on that vision. Every yes or no filtered through the lens of, does this move me closer to that life? That's what you need to do too. Dream it, write it, act on it. Now let's talk about relationships, because no long-term vision works if you're surrounded by the wrong energy. Some people were only meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. Jack realized this when he revisited his circle. One friend only called when he needed something. Another disappeared every time Jack succeeded. These aren't coincidences. They're patterns. So Jack cleaned the house, not with anger, but with peace. He just stopped giving energy to connections that didn't return it. And in that space, better people came in. Aligned people. People who respected his boundaries, clapped for his growth, and showed up without being asked. Capricorn, this isn't about cutting people off to be cold. It's about choosing peace over pressure, love over obligation, depth over familiarity. As you move into this powerful chapter, ask yourself, who energizes me, who drains me, and who am I becoming in their presence? Then choose accordingly, because your future deserves people who truly see you, not just the version they're comfortable with. All right, Capricorn, let's land this, because you've walked through a lot in this journey, and now there's just one door left, the one only you can open. The truth is, no one can force you to choose growth. No one can drag you into your future. That's a solo choice, a brave one, and that's exactly what April 2025 is handing you, a sacred moment of decision. You can take everything you've learned, everything you've healed from, everything you now know about who you are, and either keep replaying the past or finally begin living the future you've dreamed of. Jack, he almost didn't open his door. He thought maybe it was too late. Maybe he missed his window. That maybe change wasn't worth the risk. But then he remembered all the pain he already survived and realized staying stuck was the bigger risk. He walked through, slowly, scared, but forward. And that first step opened every other one. Your story can look the same, or better, because you have more tools now, more wisdom, more clarity. You've done the inner work. You've cried, journaled, forgiven, outgrown, let go. You've watched yourself shed identities, relationships, dreams that no longer served your higher self. And now, life is asking you to step into the version of you who's no longer waiting to be chosen, but finally choosing yourself. So here's your moment. The universe is listening. April 2025 is aligning for breakthroughs in your finances, clarity in your purpose, and connections that heal instead of drain you. If this is speaking to your soul, type "I'm ready" in the comments. Seriously, let the universe know. But it's not magic. It's co-creation. You move, the universe moves. You believe, and things begin to shift. You act, and everything begins to unfold. So pause here. Breathe. Feel into it. What is the door you know you need to open? Is it that hard conversation you've avoided? That job application you've put off? That relationship that needs to evolve or end? That bold move you've daydreamed about but never dared to chase? You know what it is. You've always known. And the good news? You're not too late. You're right on time. Capricorn, this isn't the end of your story. It's the moment you finally stop reading old chapters and begin writing the new one. So take that step, say yes, open the door. And now, if this message resonated with you, if something in your soul stirred, I want you to do two things. First, drop a comment below and say, I'm ready to walk through my door. Let the universe hear you. Let your future self feel you. Second, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone you know is standing at their own door right now. Because healing is personal, but growth is communal. And your light, it matters. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave. And thank you for not giving up on yourself. April 2025 is yours. Go claim it. Most people won't get this. They'll click away. They're not ready. But you're still here. And that means something. Jack used to wait for a perfect moment, for a sign so big it couldn't be ignored. But what he finally learned, and maybe this is the real secret, is that the moment he stopped waiting and just decided, everything began to shift. He didn't feel ready. He just moved anyway. And that's what the universe responds to. Not perfection, but motion. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be willing to step. So let this be that step. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Maybe your step is a phone call, or signing up for that course, or telling someone no when you've always said yes. Maybe it's applying for that job, launching the idea, moving cities. Whatever it is, don't overthink it, just choose. Because action creates clarity. And when you move, the universe moves too. Capricorn, you are so much more powerful than you've been told. And this moment is proof. So here's what I want you to do. If this message stirred something in you, if you felt seen, inspired, maybe even a little shaken, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs it. Drop a comment below. Tell the universe what you're choosing this April. Speak it into the world. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, because we're building a community of souls who are done playing small, people ready to rise, just like you. So take the step. Walk through the door and don't look back, because what's ahead, it's bigger than you've imagined. Let's go.